How did you come up with the characters in Beneath the Silent Moon, and is that similar or different than how you've come up with characters in the past?
Well, it was somewhat different. I was, again, when I was actually just before I started working on the book, I had gone to a mystery writing conference, and I heard a workshop by Elizabeth George, who's one of my favorite writers, about characterization, and the sort of system she uses for developing character profiles for all of her characters. And so I did that for this book. It was the first book I used. It was very helpful. So I did a profile for each character with sort of pertinent information about them and a brief bio, sort of major events in their life, things that have influenced them. And she uses a system where with each character you identify their core need that drives them. She broke it down to 4 things: to do one's duty, to be competent, to be spontaneous, and to be real. And then, which can mean a lot of different things. Doing one's duty can be anything from being a success, being a good parent, to serving one's country. It's how you define your duty. And being competent can mean anything from power to, being the best butler ever. It can mean a lot of different things to different people. But it's an interesting way to look at the characters. And then you look at what they tend to do when their core need is threatened, how they tend to respond. And it was an interesting way to examine the characters. I found that very helpful.
Could you talk about one of the characters from your book in terms of what their core need is?
Well, Charles and Melanie's core need is duty for both of them, which is interesting because they respond differently. Melanie tends to be more ruthless in what she'll do, I think, to do what she sees as her duty. And her definition of duty, I think, tends to be, Charles's definition of duty is more personal than Melanie. He tends to put personal ties to an extent before political ones. But I think they're both driven by duty. Honoria Talbot, who's a very important character in the book, who's the girl that Charles almost married, her need, I think, is to be competent. And with her, that means being in control and winning at things. And I would say her cousin Val is the same way. Okay. With Kenneth Fraser's core need is also to be competent. And with him, it's definitely competence as power. He was the son of a poor family, and poor, at least, a poor upper class family, and saw a lot of people who had power and wanted power for himself.